evaluation. I still got scheduling. Just as another piece of old business, we did finally get the notice to proceed on the signage project for Hubbardston
Oh,
State Forest. I
great.
came to you last
Great.
week, so I'll finish up the designs over the next month or two and get it printed and fabbed over the winter.
Okay, so they definitely heard what we talked about, the last meeting in prior, that'll be a spring project.
This spring or early summer. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that
After
sounds
bug
good.
season.
Great. I had sent around, let's see, I've been contacted by a few different, people, DCR, as well as,
No, not
I
till
wasn't expecting
March.
them till March.
some land trusts relative to walks associated with CRs on Mount Jeff, the WPR land on the other side, and then, Malone Road, the Malone Road walk being done by North County will be November 2nd. So that's just a FYI for people.
Was there a monitoring visit from Mount Jeff?
What?
Was there a monitoring visit from Mount Jeff this
No.
year?
Yeah.
When was that?
Back in, maybe September, I'll send around the date on that.
Wasn't the Malone one
Who,
November first?
who came? Was it Danny or somebody else?
I don't know, I'll put that in there too. I don't know if it was Danny or not. I was gonna go up on that, but I missed, so. So that's it. We had talked about, a little bit about trail work, the link trail stuff. And speaking of link trail, I'll jump to new business.
Hey Bob, before you go on,
Yep.
the Malone Road thing with, North County is November first at 2:00.
November
Okay.
2nd, isn't it?
Yeah, I forwarded the email on that.
First.
Okay, at 2:00.
I thought it, so Monday?
That's
Monday.
what
Oh.
Emily Morlino's note said.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
When's the 31st? Sunday,
Were you planning to attend that one? Bob?
very funny.
Yeah, and or anybody else
That
can
would be-
attend that too, yeah, so, yeah.
I might wander up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna go.
Kind of old business, new business. It was an old business topic, but it relates directly to a new business item. And we did finally get, the VSA volunteer support agreement from State Forest people, Tim Colkeen. And I sent that notice around to everybody, and I actually put the document up on the drive, so if people wanted to take a look at it. I brought a copy of probably the key paragraph in there. A lot of the paragraphs were non-applicables, but the most important one from my vantage point was volunteer activities. So I'll just go ahead and read that. The Hubbardston OSC would like to organize volunteer activities and trails at Hubbardston State Forest and Templeton State Forest to include basic trail maintenance of existing DCR authorized trails on DCR property, including trail corridor clearing, drainage maintenance, tread maintenance, bridge maintenance, and redecking. Trails are shown on the attached map. Wayfinding, Hubbardston OSC will maintain trailblazing and install signage that has been approved or created by DCR. Proposed reroute of new trail process. If in the event we want to do trail modification or create a new trail. Hubbardston Open Space will flag proposed route and submit a trail proposal and evaluation form. DCR will field review. When approved, Hubbardston OSC will coordinate construction of Class 2 or Class 3 trails of a similar style and development to existing trails. No trail building will occur without DCR written authorization. Proposed new trail structures, Hubbardson, OSC will submit proposed plans to DCR for approval. Hubbardson Open Space will coordinate application to local conservation commission for any required permits for, my words, for said structures. Monitoring, Hubbardson OSC members will monitor the state forest for any unauthorized activities and report to DCR. All activities will follow DCR trail guidelines. Woodlands, Hubbardson OSC understands that Hubbardson State Forest and Templeton State Forest are designated woodlands that forest stands will be harvested on a periodic rotation, and that this forest management objective may influence plans for recreational uses of the trails. So that last part was just to remind us that they're the owners and that forest harvesting is part of their plans, and they've done that a few different times over the years. So I thought that was a pretty liberal phraseology relative to what we can do. Now, how that links back to Link Trail, if you want, that was a trail that came up at our last meeting with the bikers people here, and there are 2 or 3 spots along Link that are really pretty mucky. From my perspective, and we can discuss this, it's a perfect use for putting down the triax and a stone bed on it. It's probably a 3-hour project, cause it's got easy access. A big part of some of that stuff, just getting a couple inches of stone to put on top of the triax. There's about there's 3 spots. One's like about a 6-foot spot, one's about a 15-foot spot, and then the last one is about 30 feet as you get up closer to the bridge. Easy work to do. I brought it up with the Conservation Commission at the last meeting I was in, and they didn't have a problem. In fact, they recalled what we had done up at Malone, and so they had no problem with it. It's not standing water, there's no flow through there, they're just deep pockets that collect moisture.
How deep are the pockets, by the way?
How deep are the pockets?
Yeah, like how deep? Like
How deep is the mud?
Today?
Yeah, how deep is mud?
The mud probably can get this deep
Yeah,
in
I think it's
those.
pretty.
And the triax, you put over that?
Just right straight on top of it.
Really?
Yep.
It's still stable?
Right straight on top of it, you put 2 inches of stone on there,
Yeah,
and you'd never know you're walking on mud.
wow, incredible.
Yep, we did videos of a driveway. It was pretty similar in sections of it to what we did at Malone, but a more vivid one, and Steph took videos of it. Our driveway had this much pure mud a couple springs ago.
Yeah.
Stuff comes in a 15-foot wide roll that you can cut quite easily to whatever width you want. But for a driveway, that's a pretty ideal width. Just rolled it out, just put about less than 3 inches of stone on it, and drove a 10,000-pound tractor on it
Yeah.
immediately afterwards, and it didn't settle at all. It was just absolutely amazing. All right, so I'll, if that's okay with folks, then I'll sort of put together a little plan and proposal for doing it and when we'll do it. And cost-wise, it'll probably cost $100, something like that for the stone.
And the triax?
Drags, we'll donate that. I've got some written down too. All right?
Just
let's-
reimburse it out of the preservation account, and
Yeah.
you're good to go. As long as you're comfortable with the Concom, that you covered the basis with the Concom.
Yep. And that's the stuff on my agenda. Any other business that anybody else wants to bring up?
You had the hay contract report on that.
Oh, yeah, that's right, I skipped over that. And that was a huge thing, actually. I know, just relative to all the discussions that have been taking place. And I'll make one comment ahead of time. Since there was no additional money coming in, it seemed like there was a lot of cutting done must have been in the last 8 weeks, that couldn't have been part of the initial money that came in.
Was it?
They had obviously, they cut all the fields, they
Yeah.
looked pretty good.
There was one,
We didn't,
my understanding was just one cutting.
didn't you say though that they sent in money before they'd finished cutting?
Oh, well, that could be, Lance did make a comment to me that even though they had not cut it, so that's, but I mean, now Dave knows Lance too, I mean.
Yeah, well, you said that 1,700 came in.
That was
Yeah.
1745.
And that's about right for one cutting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
cause he
only
did,
amount I
he
know
did say,
about at this
that
point.
even though he had not cut it all, he did send in, an amount that was approximately as if he had cut it
Right.
all. So maybe he did that, maybe with plans to finally get the cuttings done or something.
And like mentioned.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
The two of the fields, he cut and couldn't pick up.
Yeah.
It got stuck and then it rained and they was ruined.
Yeah, when we went out there, there were, where he got stuck, I mean, the ruts were this deep, they're full of water,
Yep.
it's full of water.
Yeah.
What field's that, the one right
Um,
across from Mount Jeff?
Yeah, that's a field
It's
6,
always-
or whatever. I was-
Yeah, down in the
it's
bottom
five.
there, that's always a tough
It's
field.
always the last.
Yeah,
Also, he's been out there, he's been brush hogging the edges a bit.
so they've started that?
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
What fields have they brushed on?
I just drove by it, I didn't actually get out in the field because it was raining too hard, but the one right across Mount Jeff, and then the next one up, he started a little work up there too.
He
Let's see.
did. I was out there over the weekend, he did
great.
it, all along the field on the west side of Mount Jeff, north of the Gates
Okay.
Foundation.
Yeah.
And the field, on the other side of the foundation. Towards
And-
Joe's house, and he cut that strip down the middle,
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
he did?
yeah, yeah.
I meant to ask Jesse why that, I mean, that's always been there, but I have no idea why they initially left it.
Yeah,
And he cut around the edges of the field at the end of Milan Road and the field on the east side of Mount Jeff. And he cut brush in the idle area,
right.
that's in back of number 6.
Oh, you got back there.
Yeah,
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That hasn't been done in quite a while.
yeah.
Yeah, it was getting a little
There-
brushy.
What island area is that? Is that right
It's
beside
in the back
Gates?
Right there.
Here.
Direct-
No.
Directly across from the
Across the
picnic area.
street from Gates.
Oh,
Here's
down where
one.
all the bittersweet is and stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, he mowed about all he could, you really need a chainsaw.
Yeah.
You need a place to, you need
Oh, I should put that on
you need
the
a place
list,
for
yeah.
people to practice. There's a bunch of,
Can't you just see the?
buckthorn, not glossy buckthorn.
Bring the whole crew over, Stan.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of little trees that, if they were cut, he could mow quite a bit more of that multi-floor rows.
Well, after they become pros, they can go up and practice their cutting after they've had their training.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you become a pro.
Does Alice wanna
Experience.
do that?
Yeah, and I had made this
Yeah,
comment
that-
in
that
an
would-
email at one point along the way here, that if we want to think about bringing the end of the field between, they call it the racetrack field, that had the strip down the middle.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oval,
Yeah,
oval
yeah.
racetrack.
Oh.
But anyway, if we want to talk about bringing the end of that field over by Joe's into production, I think it would be polite to have a conversation with Joe first.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last 10, 15 feet there, that
Probably more
abuts
than
Yeah,
that.
he did
It's
strip,
probably,
he's
more
just
than
done
that.
it's
that.
probably like 30 feet, I would guess.
It's like a buffer that I
already did
think
it?
he
Yeah.
kinda
Yeah.
likes.
He did some of that.
Yeah, he probably did like that, who wouldn't?
We spoke to Joe,
Yeah, okay.
Oh, you did?
Oh,
Joe's
he did,
okay,
and he was
yeah.
okay with it?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he didn't go like right up to Joe's property
Oh,
line,
okay.
he went, you know,
Cause it seemed it was purposeful.
That's a real
Yeah.
wet area down at that end.
yeah,
too.
exactly.
And I probably orchestrated that in a poor fashion. I should have had you just do a little summary, which you can do now.
Oh,
Do you wanna add anything else? I mean,
Uh,
I mean, what you done in the conversations you had,
Yeah.
just covered all the bases.
Great.
What I had
The,
said really
the
well.
one thing I was concerned about, was it the acronyms, the grasslands conservation something or initiative.
Oh, yeah,
He
that's
does get money from that.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Right, he gets apparently a lump sum for our property and his properties, and he says he gets about $600 a year from that. And I think he's just rolling that into his payments to us.
Now, just relative to that, is there potential for getting any more? Like, I don't know how good he is, quote unquote, at getting, what is that, in the flavor of a grant?
Yeah, I think we can probably stipulate that it's probably not Lance's forte
Yeah,
to
that's-
track
yeah.
down grant money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is another program that looks like a possibility to me, but
It seems like
I haven't
for,
looked at it
for
into it
two
in
joint,
detail.
for two different areas, where's his other land?
He owns property over in Templeton. that
Okay,
he
so
mows.
for
Stuff
for
we
for
drive
two
by.
different significant, two completely different parcels of
Right.
property, getting $600,
Right.
seems like a pretty small amount of money, so maybe get some additional monies there that could be put into
Right.
revitalization of those lands to help him put in
Right.
more fertilizer,
Right.
lime, whatever is necessary. Did the topic of testing the soils ever come up?
No, I didn't talk about that with him. But to me, I think they need to be tested at some point. I would assume to know what fertilizer to put down.
Yeah, that's usually
Yeah.
part of the protocol, to do some soil testing, so
Yeah.
you know specifically what to put down there.
Somebody said that was in the pay contract?
Agreement?
Yeah, well, it's in the management plan,
In the management,
and it might be in the contract,
What, to do soil testing?
yeah.
Well, it's not a requirement to do it, it just says
A suggestion?
that it's part of the management protocol, that's allowable, if you want to.
How do we wanna leave this relative to, it sounds like there should be a little bit more investigation as to what the potential funding capabilities are from the Grasslands Protection Act.
I can
Yeah, well,
contact.
it's not GCI. There's a whole slew of NRCS programs that you can get funding from. The one I was looking at is called EQIP.
Equal, yeah.
And it looked like it might be applicable, but I haven't gone down that rabbit hole.
Well, any monies we can get towards dumping into it for the betterment of the land, would potentially, like, I know you had brought up, controls of the invasive species work
And
down in
it looked like that might fall under equipment, possibly.
So if somebody wanna take an assignment of looking into whatever,
Yeah, I'll take it on, I don't know what to do. Does the field office in Holden or something?
Yeah, the field office is in Holden.
And who's
It would-
the contact there? I mean, I'll make some phone calls and drive by.
Yeah, we've,
I've
Rick,
got her
Rick,
name somewhere.
Rick had a contact with
Yeah, if you give me a
somebody.
contact, I'll talk to him.
Okay.
I mean, I think she was like I looked her up, and I think she's like an administrator, gatekeeper type
Yeah,
person.
she's a gatekeeper.
But she can probably refer you to the technical
Yeah.
person that
Right.
would deal with this kind of thing.
I'll make some phone calls. I have no idea what these programs are, but,
Yeah.
you know, you can probably get some inputs from Mark.
yeah, exactly. If you,
I'll send you, I'll
Great.
send you a little bit
Yeah.
of information.
but I'll make some phone calls.
Have you dealt with that program before?
I haven't directly dealt with equal. Many years ago, when NRCS was SCS, I dealt with it, I administered some of the cost sharing programs that they had. So, yeah, you need to get the right person at NRCS and
Right.
find out what might be available to us.
I'll send you the name I have.
Great.
But she is, I believe she's just
Yeah, sorry.
answers the phone.
Yeah,
Answers basic questions.
well, that's a real good beginning.
Yeah.
When you do this, it's one that makes it tough.
Yeah.
It used to be that some of the programs, municipalities weren't eligible for, they're only for private landowners.
Yeah.
But I have no idea how they're
Yeah.
doing it equal. I think that the town probably is eligible for that.
Okay.
All right. And actually, this discussion about chainsaw, put Steph on the line here, so Steph's been been approached about relative to putting a chainsaw clinic on it.
Yeah,
Good,
Perfect
good.
Halloween.
They
Yeah.
have the date set for November 20, I think it was, and 21.
Was it 2 days?
What
North County-
precipitated this? Let's start it off with.
Oh, well, Bob and I put our land in chapter 61, and in doing so, we've been working with, some foresters and UMass Extension, is that what it's called? With, Catanzaro?
Yeah, Catanzaro.
And his is, a woman that works under him, is grad student,
Emily?
Olivia.
Oh, Olivia's
Her
up
name's
there.
Olivia, I can't think of her last name, but she and I had been talking, and she got me involved in a book club with Women of the Woods, and involved with that, I saw on their website that they do, chainsaw courses for women, so I asked her if we could host one at our property, cause we just, we just got a stewardship plan, and I thought part of that is cutting some stuff down, so we could learn how to cut stuff down on our property.
You can practice, there you go.
And so she spoke with Sarah Wells, who I think everybody here knows. And so, in North County Land Trust, Jassy, North County Land Trust and, Mount Grace, is that what it is, Mount Grace Conservation? They're sponsoring it, and it turns out it's gonna be free.
Oh,
It's a 2-day course for
Oh,
women. I'm
great
not sure
deal.
what the participant number is, but I'm gonna guess it's probably gotta be like a dozen. Anyways, should be
Well,
neat.
then the request to us for.
Oh, yeah, they just wanted to know if Open Space Committee would, support it. And so, that's why I sent the note out to you guys, and everybody said, yeah,
everybody
it's
was
not a
up to-
financial, it just means that you would support it in the sense if you got flyers, you might share them with people.
Oh, yeah.
As well as with are they gonna put our name on the flyer?
The flyer I saw today did not have our name on it, but she said she was gonna change a few things.
In conjunction with that, just, this is sort of a rhetorical note, if something like that did happen, does that require an official vote? Does that get us into any kind of obligations if our name gets put on the flyer?
She didn't
No,
think
I
so.
mean,
Sarah Wells didn't think
there's no
so.
obligation. I mean, I think probably as a courtesy, if we're gonna sponsor something, the committee should know about it.
Yeah, is there legal liability, like somebody gets hurt?
I wouldn't think so, but,
No,
I mean,
'cause
that would be
it's,
my only.
all the insurance stuff is covered under UMass and,
Yeah.
the land trust. And it would be on our property, not on town land.
My wife is very interested, but she has to work that Saturday, so.
So if I identify as non-binary, can I sign up for it?
Oh, dear.
Welcome to come anyways. And I'll be sending you an invitation.
Okay, I want the flyer so I can share it. I already know how to work a chainsaw.
Up, up,
Anything cuts down trees.
up.
Yeah.
I thought
Three
you were forbidden.
Certain chainsaws I'm forbidden to use, certain chainsaws I can still use. And I'm not allowed to use my husband's chaps anymore because I've ruined them all. But that was a whole secondary problem. That wasn't my fault. That was because they were too big, and I told him that. So they stuck out, and it caught the chain. When I was holding it, it like caught the chain and ripped like the whole. So that was his own fault. That wasn't my fault.
Well,
Never
that's
came
just
near
on the
my
safety
leg.
thing.
It was the chaff of the chainsaw.
All right. Miss Susan,
3 things. Speaking of partnerships, I would love to see some of the committees, the Historical Society, work more together on some projects, and I have the perfect one in mind. I'm sure you saw the picture of the guy building in the rocks that I sent out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Where was that?
Was
His
the
name
lesson on
is-
stone wall building, or?
Yes,
Oh,
he
that's
is,
way cool.
Lancaster Historical Commission sponsored it a couple weekends ago. He has this book and another one. It's delightful reading, all about rocks. It's well written. Anyway, so I'd like to bounce the idea off Joyce for the Historical Society, because they do programs in the spring, summer. And if they did that as a program, it is $300, but maybe we could find a sponsor or something, because I don't want to deplete, I'm gonna say, oh, why don't you do this and use some of your money? That's not the point. But as a follow-up, remember the big rock If they gave that presentation, say, earlier in the summer, and then we had a follow-up, field trip to the Big Rock, and we have a way in, because the Macaulays, does anybody know the Macaulays? Ken and, what is her name, Jane?
Kenneth and Jane.
Yeah, they live on, Ragged Hill Road, which is kind of parallel with Templeton Road. And you can get to the Big Rock through their yard, going the other way, because I guess we don't really know the landowners on the Templeton side, or do we?
I don't know them, but at any rate, you're gonna be on their property
Yes.
when you get to the rock.
Oh, well, so that would
But
have
if we
to be.
sneak in them from the back, they might not see.
Well,
It's not trespassing if no one sees you.
And weren't they described as gun owners and maybe still waving
You
their
guys
stuff
are
around?
digressing, but yeah, so the idea would be, if the Historical Society perhaps did that part of it, had the speaker come, he's very good, and while he's talking, and you learn so much history.
Yeah.
It was just, it went on for an hour and a half, I couldn't believe it, and people were still wanting to ask more questions, cause he does a Q&A at the end. And as he's talking, he builds a wall on this 8-foot table, it's a good gig, but it was just so well done and enjoyable.
Does he do this presentation at, multiple times a year for various
yeah,
organizations?
and-
Anybody that pays them.
Yeah, it's around $300.
Let me talk to Sarah and see if this might fall under the rubric of the Cultural Council.
Oh, that would be a perfect, then we're not asking the Historical Society to put up money,
Yeah.
we could even sponsor it.
Yeah.
We'd probably have to move quick. I don't know what the deadline got extended for applications
Oh,
for
really?
the coming year, but I'm not sure till when.
If you mention it, and then if you're coming, are you coming Sunday? You do know?
Yeah, I better.
Oh, that's right.
I'm hoping.
Okay, well then you might have the answer then.
Either that, you're gonna have to put Mark's beanie on and learn.
No, that would not be a good idea. But anyway, and then maybe we could extend that into doing some Native American presentation with a follow-up to the caves. Are you with me here? Can you see us all working together?
Well, I'd like to see that,
Yeah,
I
that
missed
would
that.
be neat, and
I
that
missed
would
that
help
other
the
cave tour.
Historical Society sort of have some of
There's
their,
some
if they
Indian
want
caves
to.
over on the
And if they
back
don't?
end.
They
Really?
have, they do have more money than we do.
The Historical Society, well, they do, but they are gonna need it for Williamsville Chapel.
Well, if it's only 300 and each
Oh,
group pitched in
yeah, or,
money of
whatever, but it's just,
Covered.
and I haven't talked to Joyce yet, I'm gonna give her a call tomorrow and just bounce the idea off of her. She's in the Historical Society, which is different than the commission. Anyway, and we do have an in with the Macaulays because, she even mentioned it in an article that she was writing. And what was the
Great.
other thing? Oh,
Got more stuff, it's like Mary Poppins.
the umbrella. Oh, the other thing is the date for our next meeting. It would be like the day before Thanksgiving. I don't think that's such a good idea. What do you think? Probably not. So do we wanna move it earlier or just move it to December? And I still have one more thing.
Well, does anybody wanna do it like on Tuesday instead of Wednesday? And
Or earlier.
bug Bob to get the agenda in on Thursday?
That's right.
If you're not doing the cooking, you might be interested in it, right? Cause that's the Tuesday night before Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's true,
But, or you might not be here too, so if you're traveling.
yeah.
Just to keep it in mind.
Well, we gotta make a decision.
And while you guys are figuring that out, okay, I know it's pushing Christmas, but I couldn't wait because here, why don't you?
That's good, I'm glad you turned the camera over there.
Oh my goodness.
I,
Bible,
in the process of this,
the open space Bible.
if they don't get two, they only
They
get
only
one.
get
Oh, good,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
we don't need two.
No, there you go. Let's see, there we go.
Now hold the door.
There we go.
Is this?
Girls might
I
be.
think I might have this one.
If you
No,
do,
this is
I'll-
a later,
Just
this is a
someone
later
else.
Okay.
one.
Alright,
This
yeah,
starts
'cause I have
with
one
that
sitting
one
on my
ends.
desk, I don't
Oh,
know
wow.
this
Really?
year
Some
or
of
the
Well,
year
this is the
before.
Sullivan
Susan.
one, and,
Okay.
Way cool.
This is
doing,
great, thank you.
yeah, absolutely, doing
It's also
some
better written.
research for the CPA church thing, which the work has just begun because we have to do the preservation restriction, grant agreement, and the other form of some sort. Once you read this book, you have a whole different, not being townies, and none of us except Katie are, right? We're newbies, basically.
None of you people are talents.
But it just, it's an easy read, and, it just gives you a real insight into the uniqueness of our little hamlet, so enjoy
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
I love how you put
Am I
your hat
right,
on
this
for
one
that.
picks
I know.
up where
I
the,
was like,
Great.
where are we going with this?
the old one written by Stowe?
Oh, okay, Stowe goes to, when does he go to that, this one picks it up in what year?
It's right about then when it was written.
Right,
It's like
Stowe goes up to
1870
that.
something.
And then this teacher from Quabbin, Sullivan, picked it up until 76, right?
Yeah.
And then the lady at the town meeting was talking about they were painting it in 80, and I didn't know about that because this only went up to
Yeah.
76. So, they're actually, this is about time for another one to be written, so somebody needs to get on the stick.
I think you should get on that.
Yeah,
I'm
maybe
not a
Destiny could do that for her.
I'm not a
I
writer.
took your
And
word.
if you are interested in the other ones, the Stowe one is available at the town hall. The Kangas book is available, I got mine at Barnes and Noble when we moved here. I don't know if
It's
it may have.
available for sale or?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for
'Cause
sale
you
for
can-
town hall.
Cause I've got a
Gary
digital
has a
file,
lot of
digital
Yeah.
copy of
Ones
the
you
Stowe
see
one.
from, like,
if
every
anybody
town.
wants.
This is the
No,
earliest
covers
one
and stuff.
that's available from the Boston Public Library online, or I like the book myself.
That's the one that's, from the beginning to what, to the
To
centennial?
eight.
To 1878.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, I got a digital copy of that too.
Yeah, right, so just, it just gives you, it's fun.
This one's
Yeah.
better written than the Stowe one is.
Still one's pretty dry,
It
right,
is,
you
it's,
think?
it's
And all
tough
the
reading.
begets and everything, but then you see all the names of the roads, and all of a sudden, Grimes,
Oh, yeah.
Prentice, oh yeah, I get it, yeah. So enjoy.
Yeah, thank you.
You are
Can we
welcome.
pay for these, or?
No, I stole, no, no, no.
The library won't miss them, it's fine.
Yeah,
No, ask Lori, I've been in there a lot lately, but that's
Great.
all right, so it's a good thing, anyway, so
Well, thank you.
enjoy,
Thank you very much.
yeah. So what did we decide about the meeting?
Wanna do it on the 23rd or move it to first part of December?
I'd go December 1st,
That's a Wednesday
Wednesday.
then?
And then a couple of
And then
December meetings.
holidays over,
Specific.
the Thanksgiving's history,
And then the next one wouldn't be until early January.
Yeah.
does that make sense?
That works good.
I mean, it doesn't, probably doesn't make sense.
All right,
doing
next
the week
meeting will
between
be
Christmas and
December 1st.
Okay, sounds good.
I think that's how we ended up doing it last year, just by default, because.
Yeah.
Anything else?
How many people think they're coming to the field trip? A few of us?
Oh, my
Yeah.
God,
Yeah, I wanna see the Hobbit house.
Yeah.
I've seen pictures of
Yeah,
that.
okay, we'll go down there afterward.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
It's,
right.
it's private property, but we'll be quiet.
Oh,
Nobody ever, again,
They have to see you.
who would
But,
you
but
like?
have you seen the sign next to the stream, downstream
No.
from the Hobbit House?
there's a
What's it say?
sign now?
Oh, it's been
Which-
there, I don't know how long it's been there.
Does it say
Which
you're
way,
on
so if you keep
camera?
going,
If you turn, if you're,
So,
loo- if you're
like, so
looking,
you're
if you're
walking
looking
down-
towards the Hobbit House,
Okay.
left,
yeah,
on your left, about, 150 feet down, there's a
Yeah, 'cause this-
sign.
Did you get a picture of it?
I had a whole bunch of pictures from that one trip that were like my screens, the backgrounds for like when we were doing the Zoom. And everyone's like, it looks like a swamp, I'm like, it's 'cause it is, it's Hubbardston. Welcome to Hubbardston. When in doubt, it's a swamp.
What does it say?
That's on the same property?
Huh. No, that was not there last year, or that, or I didn't see it.
Oh,
It must have been there.
It's been there.
So if you're looking at the Hobbit House, this is over here, and the trail coming down is behind you. You cross the little bridge. It's
Yeah,
over
if
here?
you're standing on the bridge,
Yeah,
take a left, following the
Huh.
stream down.
yeah, 'cause I did, and really,
Is it not very friendly?
I might have.
Oh, no,
walked-
it's delightful.
Yeah, no, I might have walked around, 'cause I walked this way, and then I
What's it
meander
say?
when I
What
walk.
does it say?
Read it, Steph.
I'd go back if I were you, right?
Yeah, no, beware.
Who owns that?
I don't remember the name.
But it's on the Hobbit side of the street.
No.
Oh, maybe that's why I didn't
It's on
notice
the
it's
fifth
on
one.
the other
Read it,
side,
Jeff.
okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
Cause I didn't cross to the other
Mother
side.
Nature's Church,
Yeah,
the roof is in the skies. sermon by the brook, the wind, and the trees. The walls are the landscape.
Wow.
There you go.
That's so
Yeah,
very
it's
nice.
It's a big wooden sign, it's
That had to
pretty.
be Bella, right?
Yeah, it sounds like Bella, town meeting.
Yeah, I'm just thinking the same thing.
It's almost a Rowena.
All right, so we're all set on the next meeting. Anything else?
No?
Move to adjourn.
What's that?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
And we're gonna move to adjourn in a second. All in favor?
That took some time.
All right.
Aye. Another great meeting.
So